Hello, good morning, friends. Welcome back, YouTube. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you had a nice, safe trading day. I know I did. It was a little rough waters at the beginning. Took me for a little bit of a ride. And then I finally just went full bore. Yeah, it was very choppy today. Very cool, though. We got a compression candle, which I am thoroughly pleased with. And let's see if we can get this Pumptober going. We're still above some support. We're hanging around at we're hanging around above a bullish order block and below a bearish order block. So I'm just waiting for price to show its hand. I'm pretty dang sure it's going to want to go up. But just in case we're offside on that, then I'm just going to let price action do what it wants to do and show its hand. And once it does and order flow engages, it will not be hard to get in sync with that. So what are we? Well, let's check it out. Daily candle open, little bullish vacuum block there, or new day opening gap. Opens, trades down its discount array and running up into consequent encroachment of this rejection block here. So we'll take a peek at that. Just running up, just stabbing through there, just about reaching. I'm pretty sure that's going to be bait for later. I don't know if it's going to be Friday or tomorrow. We'll see. It could be Thursday. These next 3 days are going to be really fun. Fun in a sense that we're going to have to do a lot of real-time analysis. So that being said, I think we were in the, 4-hour chart. It wasn't really obvious last night when I was giving the update what was going to materialize. So I was looking at something very specific that I wanted to have show up in the charts. And fortunately enough, that happened. So great. If you remember, we were looking at this fair value gap here in concert with our bullish breaker or support level. And I was mentioning like this is likely going to be some weird looking inverted head and shoulder or like cup and handle, just whatever pattern you want to make it, it's there. And now we've got an even bigger ascending triangle, which is awesome if you're a pattern trader. And we got just that. So where are we? Right here. So we open, trade down, and this was the chop. And then finally for pretty much the end of the day, yeah, friggin' PM run. Finally come up and swept all the buy side liquidity. So when I got up, I seen London doing a big dynamic range, and then it's funny because my mentor even said London was the key to the trash in New York. I say this to you guys all the time. If London does a big dynamic run, if London lunch is doing things, don't seek New York AM session. Don't seek opening bell to give you much. Typically, it's not a 100% thing. It's just that it's typical. I think I was even mentioning that too last night. Like, I'm not just dying to get into a trade. I want to, but I'm not dying to. So let's go over some price action because I ended up taking an L here on my smaller account. So I was in from this order block and I added one to the trade like in and around here. And I had one stop below this low just here and my other stop right here at that zero line at the fib there. It came down and got one contract. It went flying back up. I got back in on the breaker here and I left my stop down and it came all the way back down and it started doing this. So I'm still in with the two. and my average entry is like in and around up here somewhere, the premium of the purple box. I moved one stop out of the two up here and it got tagged here. And when this candle started to come down from my other stop, which was still down here, I just killed the trade at a small loss in here and I just took it. And then some dude on Twitter was saying some stuff. So I loaded my bigger account here and took another trade. So one small loss, one decent win. Just that little run here, counter trading the bear flag that was retesting bearishly and running out buy side liquidity. It's more to prove a point. Yesterday I shorted a bull flag. Today I longed a bear flag retest. It was just to prove a point and give some hilariousness. But yeah. So really wild this morning. And when this started running down, I was sure it was over. And then I was like, okay. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, this sucker, is I was closing on this candle. And then I went into Twitter just completely, because at this point, like it's nearing the point where I need this guy to run. And if it's running in the opposite direction I want, after 10 a.m., that, and people would be like, oh, well, that was the Judas for the 10 a.m. news driver. Sure. I mean, 10 a.m. was here, and I was considering that touch of the higher time frame discount array there to be what launched price. Well, it came down for a really deep dig, and the equal highs it was leaving as it was still running down here. And I'm watching this 1 minute chart, and you can see in the recording on my Twitter, I was playing the 15-minute candlestick. Now, I did have a wide stop. Admittingly, when I caught that dagger, I was expecting it to want to run into that low. And I'm going to zoom in here, and I'll show you why. That black line there is the order block, and how it fell shy of it just a little bit there. When I caught this dagger, I was anticipating that and permitting price to come down a little bit lower if it wanted. And you'll see my stop is way down here. So giving it a lot of wiggle room. And this is a testimony to you guys who are running too tight of stops and worrying about being perfect all the time. And you only want to lose just the most minor amount of money. And that's good. But running too tight of a stop is not the way to do it. I only used one contract, and if it had come down, I would have been in with 3. And if it materialized order flow, I could have pyramid that position. If it just wanted to go, so it just did. But anyway, you don't have to be perfect. If you can clearly see what price wants to do, you don't have to be perfect. And if you look at my execution, if you look at the recording, you will see in the 15-minute chart that price action snapped up, and I'm looking at this clock. Okay, I'm looking at the clock on the right in the 15-minute chart, and I'm timing it. So when price action snaps up and that candle closes, what happens? Beautiful. You can see that same phenomenon in the 15-second chart. Right in there. So once it starts doing your little wiggle, snaps up, you might find yourself in a good position. Oh, excuse me. Same thing. Same, but different. Snaps down, takes the liquidity, does a little wiggle, and here's your order block right there. If it wanted to run through there, it would have done it in a very dynamic fashion. But she wanted to hold. And then, wow. And then she ripped up for the PM session. I find that thoroughly hilarious, because this is where I wanted to close for the month, was up here. And we got the 3-month close now. So got some no tail on that candle, so I would like to see it down there. 3-month chart has closed, everybody. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. So when this happens, and if you were playing a swing low in the discount on a 3-month chart and it just snaps up like that, yeah, good luck. Because like you've already, well, that's the highest high that the swing low had created out of the 3 candles, right? So if you were trying to look for a position, you'd be buying the close of that candle. Your stop would be like way down here, and then 3 to 1 R off that. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. When you're looking for a swing low model to play, you don't want it to be far away from the low. So I'll show you in a lower time frame. But here we are, and so from that swing low to this high, we got the 786 here perfectly. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Very cool. And so we've got a swing low and a discount. It just so happened to want to close in a premium. So this is where things get a little weird. So what are we looking at, you guys? Well, look, there can be some violence, and it doesn't have to trade down that much. We can just start ripping, which would be pretty cool. So the first place that I'm looking for a bottom is 24,582.50. Now you can either put that on your chart or write it down in your journal. Okay. 24,582.50. And then the second place I'd be looking for a bottom for October, November, December's candle, 24,360. I like the 582.50. Their lazy coding tells me that it's likely going to reach that price point. And 15 and a quarter, not cool. 62.75, not that cool. Not that cool. So we'll see. But I like that. Yeah, we hit all targets too. Like we just kept flailing, kept running into targets. If you guys remember, we were aiming for stuff above the market on this 1-month chart here. So we had taken the bodies of these candles and we were aiming for stuff above the market, and we were also, so we hit the midway point in between there. So whatever. Let's grab the wicks just because. Let's see what we can get out of the daily chart. And I think we were using this guy here. So running into 24, 744, 75. And we had 20, if I remember, it was $25,202 or something. I'll have to check my notes, but it was definitely in the $25,000 region. So turning on 2.5, negative 2.5. Boop. We got that one. I'm looking for something a little more precise here because we had a few. Yeah, we were just, those levels were all lining up in here. So we've hit targets and we found some pit stop. Very cool. So back to the 3-month chart. And now that this sucker's closed, I am going to use this entire candlestick right here for targets. So we've hit target 1, 2, 3. Now 25,708. But I'm under the impression that this candle is going to want to stretch a bit, running into November. I know it's way out there, but who knows? Oh. It's way up there, but it could happen. Okay, now I want to take that same range from the daily and line up these guys. I know you're asking yourself, what kind of sorcery is this? I know. Ooh, that's hot. That's super hot. Oh, I love when they touch exactly. See, when you're aiming for disco stuff, 4.5 deviations here, beautiful as well. When you're aiming for disco territory, you need something to aim for. Yeah, that was the double there. So, very cool still. You need something to aim for. Not close enough. Let's try the wicks. That's hot. Cool. Oh my goodness, look at that puppy. That one's got 3. So I am really interested in this price point here. And if she wants to get squirrely, that one there too. That's hot. Very cool. So have these price points either on your chart or journaled. Let's do the low-hanging fruit here. Well, this one's awesome. 26,685.5. All right, I should probably give them in order. So target 1, 25,653.75. And then the second one, 26,682, no, 685.50. And 20,747. 647.50. Brain dead today, forgive me. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So now I'm going to go back to the 3-month chart because I want to try and find a bottom. Sweet. Okay, so this here, I'm going to draw that out. Now, Sunday into, not Sunday into Monday, tonight's Asia session is going to determine a lot. So whatever happens between 8 p.m. and midnight, and really, you know, if you're using the central bank dealers range or the flout, if you're using that, study that profile. Okay, so I take that level and go into the daily chart and just see what it aligns with. So it aligns with that gray pool that we were after. If it wanted to come down here, which is not bad. It would then set up a double bottom to raid later, which is very cool. We do have equal lows below the market, but that's pretty far. I think it's in turbo mode. The 20% retracement of the 3-month candle aligns perfectly with this consequent encroachment of this rejection block. Not 1-2. So I like that level. Just going to double check with this fair value gap as well. When you have things that line up, don't ignore them. All right, and then the 50% retracement, if it wanted to be rude about it, comes down into this inefficiency right here. It's a balanced inefficient, like it's been balanced, so it's efficient. Although we do still identify it as a volume imbalance. When it's balanced, you typically get some violence off of it, much like this guy, just launched right off of it. And so, yeah, make sure that you got these price points down because I'm going to be deleting them. So I'm only interested in this and maybe that candle's wick for a bottom. And then I want to start seeing everything start going goofy to the upside. We have no NFP this week. I don't have any data for this. I don't know what happens during a government shutdown. I've never been through one of these in the marketplace consciously. Like I've never had the I never knew to study this repeating phenomenon. So I have no data. So I really have no expectations. I don't know what to expect. I've never been through a no NFP month before. So we'll see what happens. But tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, I'm just gonna be using the information as it comes. So although I'd like to give levels internally beyond this, this is just what I'm looking for on a macro. So I'm really interested in either this price point here or this blue one below. I'll give you that one. Let's do 24,590. Just somewhere in there. So it's just a little bit of a waiting game, and that's okay. Typically, you get expansions out of compression. So if it wants to expand one more time down, I'll let it. But it could be in turbo mode here. So this guy, remember this bearish order block is saying have these on your chart. Grade that sucker and have it on your chart. We need price to show its hand and start busting through here. So what does that look like on a 1 minute chart? Ooh, did we close above consequent encroachment? No. So it's left bait. Okay, that's super bait. This will tell retail traders to start shorting. And they'll be like, oh, all-time high, double top, government shutdown, I got a short. Yeah, no, don't do that. But that looks very set up. So I'm going to be aiming for that guy. But it's a benefit to being a mentee. You get to see what I'm looking at in real time in the morning. And if you didn't do very well today, meaning you clicked a lot of buttons and you revenge traded and got your face smashed, you need to have a daily loss limit set in. Your problem isn't your skills and how to read price or how to engage with the marketplace. It's you have trouble letting it go. You have trouble stop trading. You don't know when to quit, win, lose, or if there's nothing to do. The major issue that you're all going to face, especially hanging out with me, is your ability to manage yourself in the moment, in real time, underneath all that pressure from the chemicals being released in your body. That's what you're trying to counteract. So have a great evening. Refresh your brain. Let's just let price wiggle around and see what it wants to do and see if we can get any clues tonight and into Friday to see what kind of profiles materializing for October. God bless you all. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you tomorrow. Be safe.